Hi, I'm Ken from Gone Caravanning. Today we're going to give you a tour of our Essential Caravan Signature Cruiser 2.1. So we'll start in the front bedroom area. We have the centre door, so you walk straight in there. We have the centre door. The reason we've chose that caravan is it's a smaller caravan we can get and still have a top loading washing machine. So we have the window, which we tend to have open at that kind of height there with the front flap. That way if anything's going on at night out the strobe, we can have a quick look out. We can also let some nice fresh air in around our faces. We have the curtains we just recently put in. They've turned out to be really useful. We can leave let some air in at night, and also when you're getting dressed you can just quickly close them and open them again. In the cupboards we've installed the shelves. Simply, we don't iron a whole lot, so for us that just makes more sense to be able to just fold them and put them in there. A little rack in there, which we'll talk a bit more about later, for putting little nicks and knacks in. In our battery management system cupboard, we also have installed, that's where we have our Starlink Wi-Fi router. Works great in there. The cable just comes up through the floor. Works very well. Sirocco fan, we've installed that. I highly recommend you get them done at the time if you're getting a caravan made. Again, breeze down on you overnight time. We've put some little photos up around the place. This is an animated picture of Julie's hometown in Broadstairs. There's Bleak House up on the hill and the jetty and harbour there. Okay, moving on, under the bed. So Julie wanted to install a shoe drawer. We've done that. It works very well. We can stand outside and reach in and get shoes. Under the bed, it's fairly full. Not too. We have a couple of tubs with our winter clothes in, our solar panel, portable solar panel and clothesline. A few other knickknacks under there. Not too much. Okay, moving on to the lounge room area. So we'll start at the top, cupboards. Julie's got the little plate thing there for stacking the plates up. That works great. We've experimented a lot with the cupboards. That's working well at the moment. Just again, plastic containers for our little nicks and knacks so they don't go everywhere. And we've also got the non-slip on all the bottoms. Okay, moving down into this area. I keep some Bluetooth headphones here for I tend to stay up late at night. They work very well. I get up early in the morning, Julie can stay in bed and I'll sit there with my headphones on. Okay, moving down into the under here, we have we've put the drawers in here. We use these for our dirty washing. Julie has one and I have one. In our little cupboards here we have our little inverter for running the Starlink, as well as the power cords for my laptop. Okay, we just keep little brochures and that in the pouches that were installed, and that's great for there. Our kitchen area. So I mentioned earlier in the cupboard there, Julie's got one of these racks. These are from Howard Storage. These have just turned out to be great, and we love them. We've also put a power board up underneath there. It comes back to this switch. And that's just for our coffee. We don't have the big machine, we just run the milk frother and use the plunger. Cupboards, again, not too much happening in the cupboards, just food. Alright, the drawer. One of the modifications we've done, and this is straight off the Essential Caravan site. We'd seen people had done this modification. It used to be a little flip down thing with a little plastic thing here that did nothing. Whole day job to do that drawer. Well worth it. Oven. Julie wanted the oven this time. We didn't have one in our last van. We haven't used it too much yet, but still a great inclusion. On the floor we have different kinds of mats. We have one like a bath mat up the top end, and then we come down and we use a yoga mat just so it's not too cold on your feet, especially in the winter months. In here again we went for the 19-foot model. We didn't get the solid door. for the reason that because it angles across there, it just leaves a little bit more room in the bathroom when we're getting changed in that. We have the top loading washing machine. Again, another one of those little racks there, and we found this to be very handy as well, just to put creams and different stuff in there. You know, $5 in Kmart, a great inclusion. Inside the bathroom, we've put toiletry accessories on the wall. They've never come off. We leave the shampoo and that's in there, and they seem to work just fine. And the soap dish, we just leave the soap there. We have hooks up higher, which we use for our wet weather clothes. When we've been out in the rain and things are wet, we have a couple of hooks up there on the wall, and they're just good for hanging our jackets and stuff on. So, okay. Don't know that there's too much to mention in here. Again, just toiletries, some beer down the bottom there, a necessity. Towels and linen, toilet rolls. So we've installed a couple of extra towel racks so that we both have our own towel rack, and we've put this one in under here. Yeah, just a little bit more drying area. Okay, television. Television above the door. For those people who are wondering, before we ordered our caravan and had to wait 9 months, we know people wait longer now, but we went through 2 COVID lockdowns before we got it. I wondered whether I would hit my head on that constantly. It turns out I did hit my head once in the early days, but since then it doesn't happen. And you just get used to it, and I never even think about it, never hit my head. Everything's good. That's about it. I hope you've enjoyed our little tour of the inside. We'll do a little outside one as well. Thank you very much. Okay, following on from the inside tour, we're going to move to the outside. So on our caravan, we have a front window, as we said, inside. We leave it open about that height. As we said before, we can quickly look out in the night. We hear stuff, let a little bit of air around the parts. I've painted the ball, so when I'm reversing up to the thing, very easy to see in the reversing camera. I usually get under it first time every time, but not always. Cap for the reverse camera, we have that there. We use the trailer mate jack. I found the winding too hard, got stiffer, so we use the pump up version. Very, very good. We keep our hoses underneath at the drawer bar here, just tucked away under there, and our mats in there generally. Just while we're on the front frame, we didn't go with the weight distribution bars. We actually have airbags in the car, so we have a Isuzu MUX, and we at first we didn't have on-bed air. We just used to go to the garage. It became a pain. So we fitted on-bed air. We have our gauge there, switches here, and when I'm hitching up, it's very easy for me to raise the bags, and when we're unhitching, lower the bags. So we run at about 40 psi, and when at the moment with the bike's not on the back, and that tow's very nice, beautiful. Okay, moving on. Our tunnel boot. I know a lot of people opt for the barbecue in the tunnel boot. We've gone for the drawer. Didn't like unpacking things or to get all the way in the inside, so we've gone with the drawer. It's big enough to hold our poles and stuff like that, as well as all the other stuff we want in there. And yeah, that works great. I put a light above it so that at night time we can see what was in it. There's also a little tray that sits on the top we can use for a bench. Moving round, we've put a TV bracket on the outside, so we can just pick up the TV from the inside, drop it on the outside. We don't use it very much, but occasionally we do. That works out good. Alright, we have different setups for different places. Today we've just got the end screen and the privacy screen on the side, but we have full screens, and just depends where we are, what we use at the time. Okay. Starlink dish. We use Starlink. The dish just sits out here. We also have a pole that sits on the van, but usually we find there's always a tree in the way and we have to move, just put it out on the ground. Coming around to the back of the van, we carry the 2 spare tyres. First trip out, we managed to get a flat tyre. We couldn't get it fixed and had to come all the way home with no spare. So now we carry the extra one. We have the pipe on the back for the end, flat bars. We don't take them apart, they fit perfectly there the way they are. We carry 10-12 litres of fuel, just to know that whatever happens, we've got an extra 70 or 80 kilometres we can travel at the time. Moving round to this side, we've fitted a rail all the way along there for, we have another privacy screen. On the hot days we can put that right along there and keep the side of the van cool and the side of the fridge cool. Yeah, it's not too hot today, we won't be putting it out today, but it's there if we need to. We didn't fit a grey water tank on when we had it made, and I didn't really want to play with the plumbing and the balance of the caravan because it towed so nice, so we just fitted a PVC pipe under there, and that holds about 40 litres of grey water, and we just simply connect the connection to it like that, and that transfers the water straight into there. As I said, about 40 litres, we can empty it from both sides, works great. Starlink, we have 28 litres of hot water. Starlink, just the cable running up through the floor there into the inside where we showed you before. On this side we have the tunnel boot. That's our tables and chairs. They're not in there at the moment obviously, but they fit nicely on that side. And back to the front. That's about all there is to show you today. Thank you very much for watching.